Recently, I've been out of commission, but I know I haven't been losing my gains. After 2 weeks off from the gym, I'm excited to be back and start my new meso cycle, but I'm not going in balls to the wall starting out. It's common to hear more is better, but this isn't always the case. If you feel like you're the type to push it in the gym, you actually could be working your gains away. Although we want to believe working harder is better, working harder is not always smarter. You can see working harder will be beneficial to a degree until there's diminishing returns. And if you do too much, there's a risk for even going backwards and losing gains. This is where it would be valuable to perform a deload. This is a time period where you can rest to ensure your body can recover from all the damage and stress you've been exposing it. And the purpose of this rest is to come back stronger and bigger and prime your body to start growing again. In this video, I'm going to explain when you need to deload and how you should deload, and outline a specific protocol you can follow to optimize your time so you can get bigger and stronger even faster. You want to get the most out of your training, so you want to push as hard as you can to the point where you'll be able to still recover. Once you start to go overboard, commonly done at the end of a meso cycle, you'll experience joint aches and pains, fatigued, and lower motivation, where you'll start to plateau or even experience decreased performance. You'll feel beat up where you won't be able to progressive overload. These are all signs you need to deload. Before I forward the protocol, I want to address the hardcore bro lifters out there that live the no pain, no gain lifestyle. Will I be losing out on progress if I take this rest? Looking at a study performed in 2013, there was 2 groups. The first group trained 6 weeks on and 3 weeks off, and the second group trained for 24 weeks straight. After 6 months, both groups gained the same amount of muscle. To explain this, the group that took the 3 weeks rest experienced an increased rate of growth once they started resistance training again. Looking at other research, we can see this increased spike happens time and time again. If the training and rest time was more optimized with taking a proper deload, you could use the 3 weeks that was rested more effectively. Let's get into a measurable way you know for sure to deload to better optimize your time. I recommend you start tracking your workouts, your exercise selection, sets, reps, load, and RPE. Week to week, your aim should be to progressive overload. Once your progress significantly slows down or stops, you evaluate to see if you need a deload by looking at your biofeedback, such as joint aches and pains, fatigue, or lethargy or like symptoms. It might take time to get to know your body so you can auto-regulate your progress, but once you get it down, you can take advantage of every single week in the gym. Once you decide to take a deload, I can suggest 2 ways to successfully complete them. The first one is to simply take a full rest from any exercise for 1 week. This option might be good for people who might be tempted to push it even though it's deload week. The second option would be to perform another week of your regular training, but reduce the intensity to 50 to 70%. Do not perform any sets above RPE 5, which is 5 reps within failure, and even drop back a set from every exercise to be safe. The point of the deload is to be fully recovered and to be starting your next meso cycle completely fresh. There are other ways to do this, so don't be limited to the 2 options provided if there is a way you personally prefer. Although some believe you should schedule a deload week, if you take too long to take one, you could be putting yourself backwards. A general rule of thumb is that if you're thinking about needing a deload, you probably need one. Lastly, to touch on cardio nutrition, I would recommend to stay away from any cardio that would prevent you from recovering, such as HIIT or extended lists or missed sessions. As for nutrition, I do recommend keeping things the same unless you're in an aggressive fat loss stage, where I would recommend more of a moderate caloric deficit. All in all, to conclude everything, you should track your progress, evaluate the data weekly, take qualitative notes, listen to your biofeedback, and if you think you need a deload, the chances are you probably need one. So learn to do less for more strength and muscle gains, and work smarter, not harder.